Hello and welcome to Christy's Cropping and Creating. I'm Christy Bolin, and something is wrong with my um, camera tonight on my computer. So you're not going to be able to see my face. You're just going to be able to see my workspace. Oh, look, my nail polish matches my cardstock. Anyway, I have a really quick 2-page layout for you. I'm actually going to create it in the same papers. This paper was from National Scrapbook Day, and I believe it was 2020. And most of us remember that the world shut down in 2020, so I didn't get to have an in-person National Scrapbook Day. But anyway, we're going to make this really quick 2-page layout with some strawberry papers. I think it's so fun and so pretty. And I do have some of these project recipe kits available if you would like one. Of course, I don't remember the price right off the top of my head, but I think it's around $13. It comes with enough things in the package that you can make at least 2 double-page spreads, which would be 4 pages or more. I'm not sure. It has a great sticker sheet that comes with it. And as you can see, I haven't used any of the stickers yet because this is the layout that from the kit I'm pulling from. Anyway, it's a really fun package. So y'all let me know if you want one of those. I'm just going to dive in really quick and tell you that, well, I've already told you we're going to be using these same papers. And because I used this red already, my red cardstock already has, it's already been cut with the decorative blade. So I don't have to do that step first. Let me move these so that I can get started. It's kind of hard to have a workspace that's big enough for you to do everything. And the blade that I used is the, honestly, I don't remember if I used the wavy blade or the scallop blade. They're so much the same, but I'm pretty sure I used the wave. So I'm going to get that from underneath my trimmer and pop my blade in the housing. And if it's a different blade in the grand scheme of things, it's not going to make a big difference because it'll still come out really, really pretty. For our first cut, which is going to be the base of this border on the left-hand side, it's going to be 3 inches. So I'm going to use my measurement over to the left of the trimmer, and I'm just going to line that up, cut down, and make sure when you're using a decorative blade that you do press hard enough, because if you don't quite go through, you can't repeat it again because you'll never get the design to line up the same again. And I did. This is the blade that I used. It's not focusing very well. Sorry about that too, but I did get the same result. My next measurement is going to be for the border base on the right-hand side, and I did it at 1.5 inches. Now I can measure on either side when I'm measuring 1.5. As a matter of fact, I almost always measure to the right because then my hand that's holding my paper still, it has a bigger place to hold my paper still. However, you can do either way. It will still work. Just find what works for you and go with that. So next I'm going to be cutting my strips for my strawberry paper. And one of those, well, actually, I do want to remember to switch back to my straight blade. So I'm going to do that really quickly. Go ahead and put my wave back up so I don't lose it on my cluttered table space. My next cut with my strawberry paper is going to be at 2.5 because I want to be able to center that this border on that 3-inch strip. Now you can make it wider or you can make it more narrow. I just wanted the layered look to be about like this, which gives me 1/4 inch on each side. So I cut it 1/2 inch shorter. So this strip was 1.5 inches. So this time I'm going to cut my piece at 1 inch. And y'all, if your paper is directional, make sure you pay attention to, to the front and the back, how you want your direction to go. This strawberry paper is not really directional, but because the strawberries are just kind of like, it's like somebody tossed them up out of a basket, so they're just kind of falling all over. But I have found that I do feel like some of them are a little more up or down, depending on which way I turn it, this way or that. So just pay attention if it matters. In this case, it doesn't really matter. Okay, so I'm going to save this for my leftovers. And you know what? Instead of doing what I was going to do next, I'm going to go ahead and cut this while my trimmer is out. So I'm going to make my photo mats out of what is left of this paper, because we're going to use this green side for some photo mats. So I'm putting my arm out because I'm going to be cutting at more than 5.5 inches. But the first cut I'm going to make is at 4 1/4. So I'm going to make it at 4 1/4, and then I'll cut again at 6 1/4. But I'm going to start here with 4 1/4. I'm going to turn. Let's see what this is. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay, so my next piece I'm going to cut at 6 1/4, and it will leave me a 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 and a 4 1/4 by 5 3/4 piece. This is a little bit of an odd size for a photo mat, but plenty of your pictures could be trimmed one direction. So that's why I do like to use these when I can. My other piece that was left over when I made that cut was already 4 1/4, so I don't have to make that cut again. And then I'm going to turn it and make it at 6 1/4. And again, I have a 4 1/4 by 5 3/4 piece left. I may not use both of my smaller mats. The ones I have turned to the strawberry are the smaller side. I might not use both of them, but at least I have them available, before I do anything else to them. Okay. And again, I may change that here eventually. Okay. So then on my sample, I have this, I believe this color is aqua cardstock, and it came with my kit, but I have now used all but just this much from it, and it's only 3.5 inches wide. So I don't like this for photo mats. And honestly, this is all I have left of my red as well. So I'm going to go to another plan and find me a sheet of cardstock. I should have cut it out, and I didn't. So give me 1 second to find another sheet of cardstock that I can use with this layout. And of course, I'm going to have to open this package of. Oh, that's not what I want. I was pulling out red again, and then I realized that is not what I wanted. I wanted to pull out another sheet of aqua. So again, just give me 1 second to find some aqua paper. Here we go. So yeah, that's definitely aqua, and it will now match my other layouts. So with this sheet that, when you get your kit, it's going to already have one in there, but I'm going to cut at 4 1/4. And you guessed it, I will make 2 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. Oh, I didn't press hard enough. And if I hadn't moved it, I could cut again. But that's okay. Y'all can see what I'm doing is I folded it back and forth, and now it's where it wasn't quite cut through enough. I was able to get it to separate fairly cleanly. If I need to, I can take my scissors and just trim that again. Now I'm going to cut one more strip at 4 1/4, and then I'll turn them to make them into my 6 1/4 pieces. Let's see, how many on my original layout? Oh, I see. Okay, so I shuffled the wrong way. All right, so now I'm going to turn this to make it at 6 1/4. I don't know why I keep doing that. I think I'm just not pressing hard enough because I'm trying to preserve my mat. That typically does not happen. I'll make another one on my 4 1/4 piece at 6 1/4. I got through that time. All right, so I've got those two, and let me pull my my samples back over because I also want to show you one other quick thing. So these are all 4 1/4 by 6 1/4. This one is 4 1/4 by 5 3/4, and this one is a 4 by 4. So what I did here is, honestly, I took one of those 4 1/4 by 5 3/4. Let me make sure this is the right one, and it is. And I turned it again and made it back to a, or not back, but I turned it into a 4 1/4 square. So then I have this strip, and if I want to, I can use this strip to layer with some embellishments or to use as a title strip or even a journaling strip. So when you have a piece like this, don't throw it away. And of course, y'all can see I don't like throwing away my scraps anyway, because I'll find something to, to use these on. But I'm trying to get out of that disease, but I'm still having issues with it. So so now I have two 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 and one 4 by 4 1/4 by 4 1/4 square mats in this, and my green ones got covered. I could do the same thing with one of my smaller green mats as well, turn it into a square. But for now, I'm going to stop here and put the page together so that y'all can see how fast it can go. And I will either make it exactly the same as the other, or I will make it different. Let's see here. So this one, I used the right-hand side, I used the green stripe, and I liked it going horizontally. And for the left-hand side, I used the white background, it's kind of a gray polka dot. And I'm going to put it on my mat, and then I've got to dig back under to find my pieces that I cut, put these borders together. Oh, it's funny, but it's not funny how I keep losing things in my pile over here. So I'm going to turn over my little border strip toppers, and I'm going to put my adhesive on at the same time, just to hopefully make this go a tiny bit quicker. But of course, when I flip it like that, that doesn't help it go any faster, does it? Okay, and I didn't cut this shorter. I cut it just more narrow, so I don't have to center it between the top and the bottom. Since I didn't cut it shorter, I only have to center it going the width. So I'm just going to adhere this to the center of each of my border bases. And then I'm going to flip those over and put adhesive on the back side of both. This is just a little trick that I have found does help me to move a little bit faster. So my left hand base, my left hand border on the sample, I put about a 1/2 inch in from the edge. You go as close to the edge or as far away from it as you would like. I like I like using my page, so I don't want a lot of wasted space, but it does give it a nice detail to have some of the base of the page showing on that left-hand side. Same thing on the right. I came in about a half of an inch. And see, I keep finding that I like my strawberries better going one way versus the other. The advantage of working on a mat that has measurements is that up here, I can see where that half-inch mark is. I can see it down here, so I know it's getting straight. And same thing on my 13-inch mat that I use with my custom cutting system. All right, now all I have to do is put my photo mats on. And I have the various sizes that I've already cut. I'm just getting out my cheat sheet for what I had done earlier. Let's see. Right, so on my left-hand side of my sample page, I put the aqua on the outside edge of actually the left and the right. I put it on the outside, and then I put the square one up here on the right-hand side. I put my, that's the wrong one. I put my green ones down here in the middle of the two pages. And then I put the smaller 4.5 by, 4.25 by 5 3/4 up here going horizontally, because sometimes you do have horizontal pages. And you know what? If you have more horizontal pictures, then you just switch your mats around. Okay, it's no big deal. One of the reasons I chose to do the square on the right-hand side is so that I did have more room to add a title or a a decoration of some sort. You know, if I wanted to do a cluster of embellishments, I could do that over here with extra space, or I could even use it as a journaling box. So just know that that's why I chose to leave this space a little more empty. You know, obviously I can still use one of the smaller pieces, which is 4.25 by 5 3/4, to make it completely even. And I've already told you that, of course, you can turn your pictures as well, according to what you need. Oh, I put away my square accidentally. Oh, one last thing I'm going to tell you before I adhere these. You can also, for symmetry, you can line these up directly over the top of each other because they are the same width. And then you have room to do, let's see, I don't think I have a 4 by 4 already cut. Actually, I do have a 4.25 by 4.25 cut. So then you could do 4 pictures on this page instead of just the 3. But if I were going to do that, I would do it this way. I don't know. Either way, because I think it still goes together as a whole. Okay, so this is how I'm going to put these down, and then I'm going to let you go for the day or for the evening, because I know that this is going to be airing on Thursday evening. And again, I'm just flipping these so that I can do my adhesive all at the same time for the most part. Cardstock, you don't have to flip because there is no front and back. And you can use less adhesive than I'm using if you would like. This page this mat, I did overlap a little bit with my border just to give it a little bit of detail, I guess, and stuck that down. And then on the sample, I probably had them about a quarter of an inch separate from each other. No right or wrong way to do that. But when I did that, that gives me about a 3/4 of an inch margin here on the inside. So I do basically want to match that. And I'm also coming about a 1/2 inch from the bottom of the page. When you have straight lines on on your paper, on your base paper, that kind of helps you line things up. And then this, since I don't really know how I want to do it, I'm just gonna come in here like this and pop it down. And then I can always move it later since I'm using repositionable adhesive if I would like to. And remember, the repo, it's gonna hold. It's just gonna allow you to move things a little easier should you need to move things for one reason or the other. This one, I feel like I centered it based on these two. And well, yeah, I think that's what I did. I think I centered it on these two, which I think just now I didn't get it very centered, but it leaves me some room here too if I wanted to carry something across the page, have a design and cut it in half to go, or cut it in 1/3 on this page and 2/3 on this page. I can do that. So there you go. There is the design. It's pretty quick. You can do so many things with your paper to make borders, and as you can see, it can be really quick, and then it still makes a great double page spread. I hope that y'all enjoyed this, and you can shop from my website, which is creativememorys.com/user/Christy Bolin. Christy is Kristi, Bolin is Bolin. I would love to help you if you do not already have an advisor. And if you want old National Scrapbook Day project recipe or anything else that might not be on my website, don't hesitate to let me know. This is what comes with the project recipe. So it already shows you how to make your double page, your two double page spreads, which is 4 pages. And of course, this is completely different from what I taught this evening. So it does come with all the components for you to do that. And I'm going to try to read this really quick. Yes, this is definitely from 2020. So that's why I have some of these kits left over. All right, y'all take care, and I hope to see you again next week.